I'm sick. No, this isn't me confessing to sniffing the feet of sleeping grandmas on the tray. No, I'm actually genuinely sick. I've got a horrible cold, and I only got about 2 hours of sleep. I mean, look at these bags! My eyes look like they should belong to Russell Brand crossed with a rat. But listen, still, let's get on with the Prem Catchup. Although, honestly, cover your ears, because I'm probably gonna sneeze into your face. Honestly, by the end of this video, there'll probably be phlegm, undigested Cheerios, Cody the Lens. Right, let's go. Leicester 4, Tottenham 1. Okay, hands up. Who thinks that Antonio Conte actually enjoys life as Tottenham boss? To me, I think it's pretty obvious that the prospect of being Spurs manager any longer than May, it would probably be like a fortune teller telling you that in 5 years' time, you'll be married to Katie Hopkins. Yeah, part of you will probably feel like biting off a chunk of your own cheek. Lads, this entire Tottenham project is a mess. I realize that Daniel Levy will probably pretend that they're still a work in progress. Well, let's be honest here. This is a jigsaw puzzle being put together by someone with an allergy to cardboard. Yeah, I mean, you're just gonna have to spend 20 minutes wiping vomit off the kitchen table. Lads, Tottenham are in the thick of a top 4 battle. Leicester under Brendan Rodgers are playing for what? Pride? Is that it? And yet you're given a 1-goal lead and then conspire to concede 4 with James Maddison strutting about the pitch like Prime Zidane? I mean, there was all this fuss about Tottenham finally getting the grubby paws and Pedro Porro in January. I mean, the way Levy was carrying on, you'd swear this man was the Portuguese Cafu. I'm telling you now, Jed Spence is currently eating a croissant in France. Matt Doherty is probably having to learn how to eat tapas with a spoon. And yet, both of them would have been leagues above this horrible debut. A debut that, if it smelled, would probably stink of cat after birth. He had an afternoon so hideously bad. Honestly, it was like watching Hector Bellerin if Hector Bellerin hadn't slept for a week, just clumsily stumbling about the place like a fat Teletubby. But honestly, great win for Leicester, and I am here for the Brendan Rodgers redemption. But Levy, stop trying to be something that you're not. Tottenham are not a club set up to win titles. And yet, whatever Levy tries to entice the serial winner coaches, it always fails. Lads, the 3 successful Tottenham coaches in my lifetime are Martin Jol, Harry Redknapp, and Mauricio Pochettino. When they were appointed, they had won a combined 1 KNVB Dutch Cup, 1 Intertoto Cup, 1 Championship title, 1 FA Cup, and that's it. That's literally it. Redknapp and Pochettino were both dragged in from the lonely south coast from Portsmouth and Southampton. Not exactly European giants, but the huge hype managers that Spurs have appointed. Jack Santini, Juande Ramos, Andre Villas-Boas, Jose Mourinho, and now Conte. This is what their CVs had won combined. 6 Serie A's, 4 Premier Leagues, 2 Champions Leagues, 5 Europa Leagues, 2 FA Cups, 1 Coppa Italia, 3 Supercoppa Italias, 1 UEFA Super Cup, 3 Premier Ligas, 4 League Cups, 2 Copa del Reys, a League on title, and even a Serie B. And they all failed at Spurs. Serial winning managers don't work at Tottenham. This Conte project is absolutely crumbling into wet-weighted Bix, but the worst thing Spurs could do is go out there and replace him with another monster decorated coach like Max Allegri or Carlo Ancelotti. Again, no! Tottenham is not set up as a club to adapt to impatient winning machines who want to win now. Tottenham need a project. Like when they had Redknapp or Pochettino in charge. I mean, is it not obvious the Conte ball is not working? When you've made Iheanacho look like prime R9, let Conte go in the summer and go out there and appoint Vincent Kompany. I know, on the face of it, me tipping anybody to dump a European giant like Conte for, the current Burnley coach sounds about as clever as me suggesting that you should set fire to your feet. But like Arteta and Vieira, Kompany is the next great Manchester City protege coach. The guy plays a beautiful brand of football, is focused on blending through talented youngsters. I mean, the man is the next Poch. I know it's a risk, and I think most Tottenham fans would rather search for their dinner in a bin than have their football club sniffing around turf more. I mean, we've been conditioned to think that anyone employed by Burnley about as attractive as your grandma's armpit hair. But I'm telling you lads, this Conte project is a disaster. Go out there and get company. Southampton 1, Wolves 2. Am I the only one who's gonna miss Nathan Jones? Watching this failed Stoke boss try and coach in the Premier League, it's been like watching Mr. Bean working the night shift at McDonald's. I mean, yeah, he's probably gonna get the orders wrong, puke into the curly fries, and accidentally wee on the breakfast rolls. Jones at Southampton was pure entertainment. And I'm gonna miss him. I'm almost impressed with just how spectacularly bad this man's motivational tools were in the Premier League. What I want to know though is, who is the next Southampton boss? This is a board who chose to ignore obvious free agents like Sean Dyche in November to hire the Luton Town boss. So I'm looking forward to another wacky cartoon appointment that just doesn't make any sense. Apparently the joint favourites are Marcelo Bielsa and Jesse Marsh. So clearly the Saints board just wandered right through the bins outside Ellen Road. Why don't you also see if you can eat the remains of Patrick Bamford's lunch while you're at it? That Ralph Hasenhüttl is only 6-1. What? The guy you sacked about 10 weeks ago? This would be the equivalent of divorcing your wife and then 3 months later, begging her to return once you realize you don't know how to cook and you're just sick of chewing cardboard for tea. The likes of Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard are apparently in the race, but no. Go out there and get either Rafa Benitez or Nuno Espirito Santo. 2 quality coaches who are known for their organization. I mean, comparing either one to Jones, and he very quickly looks like that court jester who makes noises with his armpit. Honestly, it looks about as competent as the dwarf bad guy of Shrek. Honestly, lads, Santo is currently working for Al Ittihad, so if you want a cheap, clever appointment, someone who will shore up your defense and help you to survive, give Benitez a ring. I mean, you should have done this in November. Get Rafa now! Man City 3, Aston Villa 1. Yeah, pretty simple this. Man City absolutely battered Aston Villa out of the park in the first half at the Etihad. Honestly, I know it's Man City, but Unai Emery is a 4-time Europa League champion. And yet in that first half, the unambitious Villa players looked like they'd only turned up to get selfies with Haaland on the pitch. Honestly, it was ridiculously easy for City. But I have to say that Jack Grealish is a Villa fan who always wants the club to do well, right? Well, Jack, considering it is your boyhood club, and the fact that you're already 2-0 up and coasting, did you really have to collapse to the ground and dive? And in the media, it is annoying to see the favoritism this man gets just because what? He's got a cheeky smile? I love Roy Keane, but here, he infuriated me. Keane was in the studio and yeah, saw Grealish collapse to the floor, and Keane smirks at halftime and says,
"Oh, he's like Tom Daly."
Oh, really? Is that it? Because Grealish and Keane were buddies at Villa Park, and because they were talking about future nights out after Man City won the league in May, because he's clearly got a soft spot for Grealish, he doesn't go in on him. But I mean, it's funny. There was another footballer on the pitch who used to do the exact same thing for Man United, and Keane would crucify him with words. Poor old Ashley Young. He has done exactly the same tactic, leaving his leg in to draw the foul in the box before collapsing like Cinderella with leprosy in her knees. Keane hung him out to dry, saying that if a cheater like Young was Manchester United quality, then he was a man from China. But when Grealish does it, oh, he just gets a smirk and a shake of the head. Say it for what it is. Grealish is a cheat. Grealish is lucky that he had his buddies Roy and Micah on commentary. Keane even said that his dive was smart with that. Keane was calling him clever. Oh, come on! I actually think justice for Ashley Young. This is a man who had Keane calling him out publicly for being an absolute disgrace, for doing the exact same thing as Jack. Well, I mean, what if Young and Keane had been friends? Is it suddenly okay then? Is it then clever and smart? Ozzy Roy, either call out Grealish for cheating or just apologise to Young, because this lack of consistency isn't fair. Arsenal 1, Brentford 1. Arsenal are slipping like a drunken panda on Dancing on Ice. I know right now those fans will be kicking a toilet in disgust, because I mean, Ivan Toney is a man who laughed at them on Twitter last season. To them, he's the modern day Troy Deeney, someone whose mere existence probably causes Ty to raise his blood pressure to dangerous levels. And yet here he is, scoring a priceless Brentford equaliser to deny Arsenal 2 costly points. And here's the kicker. It should not have been allowed. This was an illegal goal, and it was blatantly offside. How do you not see that that was offside? Just how? But the point is that Brentford actually deserved the draw. I'm sorry, but Arsenal just lost away at Everton in February. This is the month where the Gunners usually crack like a ceramic sink. This was the match where they should have come out and blown away any cobwebs of doubt by smashing Brentford by 3 or 4 goals. But lads, Tony could arguably have had a hat-trick. Don't forget, he smashed an open goal against the crossbar. February is a month of terror for Arsenal fans. Arsene Wenger was never able to cope with the pressure of this month during a title race. This man was allergic to February. Honestly, I just feel bad for his wife. Every Valentine's Day that rolled around, all she probably got was just a box of dead flowers and a crotch that doesn't work. Arsenal fans, admit it. You are nervous. And so you should be. Just get through February, but honestly, I think you're going to lose to Man City on Wednesday night. West Ham won, Chelsea won. Chelsea are still a mess. I know, they should arguably have had a penalty in the last minute after Thomas Tuchel literally fell on the ball. But still, a point away at West Ham? Sure, João Felix puts you 1-0 up with a deft touch. But Emerson Palmieri, this guy was a wet chunk of forgotten Chelsea lettuce that Frank Lampard used to just let rot on the bench. This guy was a slightly better edition of Kennedy, but still nowhere near Chelsea first team quality. And yet, despite all your insane Todd Bowley cash that you've thrown around, this Stamford Bridge reject is popping up to derive you points. Although, to be fair, the guy choosing not to celebrate, it's nice, but I would imagine at least 40% of the Chelsea staff have probably already forgotten who he is. This guy has got about as much respect at Stamford Bridge as, I don't know, a tray of burnt meatloaf. I mean, fair play. The guy just wants to show respect to his former club. But honestly, Emerson, you're a forgotten footnote at Chelsea. Just celebrate. I really don't think anybody would have cared. But yeah, this is yet again another week running a Potter-Chelsea mess. Lads, I've already told you that Potter loves a 1-1 draw. The guy collected about 30 of those at Brighton. But you're at Chelsea now, with pots of cash to spend. I mean, forget the defeats. This is already your 7th draw as Chelsea boss. How does anybody think this man is up to the job when he's unable to tactically outwit David Moyes? I mean, come on. Fulham 2, Nottingham Forest 0. Okay, this is my apology to Willian. This Fulham renaissance, to me, makes no earthly sense. Never have I been so sure that a top elite footballer was finished, only for them to prove me very, very wrong. Lads, when we saw Willian floating about the pitch at Arsenal, it looked like watching a Smurf try to swim. And so being chased out of England, the guy was back at Corinthians in Brazil, in the much lower standard of that league. And not only did he not play well, but apparently he was so bad that the Brazilian fans literally bullied him and his entire family online. That was why he quit. So returning to the Premier League with Fulham, lads, my expectations were so low for him. In my mind, this was a bloated mercenary who wouldn't even get on the Stoke City right wing. He was someone that QPR might have signed in 2013. But no, for Fulham, he was genuine class. And here he absolutely bangs one into the top corner from an insanely tight angle. Honestly, Willian, well done. Bournemouth 1, Newcastle 1. Okay, yes, if a team is in the race for the Champions League, then failing to beat Bournemouth away doesn't look great. And as Newcastle were your last minute Kieran Trippier clearance off the line away from losing in the match. Lads, if this ball had just trickled off Trippier's knee and in, then suddenly Newcastle would have lost their first league match since August. How insane is that? Some people might want to criticise Newcastle for a sluggish result. But lads, this is a club record, 17 league games unbeaten. That is half of the Invincibles. This is an incredible season for Newcastle. But what I cannot get over is that if Fabio Carvalho had not snuck in a 98th-minute winner for Liverpool 6 months ago, then Newcastle United, a team who last season needed 4 months to win their first game of the season, they would still be on for the Invincibles. It's amazing. It's absolutely insane. Leeds 0, Man United 2. Leeds United fans must be gutted. This is a club who bided their time in the wilderness away from the top flight and always dreamed of one day, once again, beating Man United in the Premier League. And then they come up under Marcelo Bielsa and were utter wet chaos. They travelled to Old Trafford twice, conceded 11 goals. Disgrace. But here, lads, Leeds don't even have a proper manager, and they played Man United twice in the space of a week, and they must be fuming that they haven't won at least one. They led 2-0 at Old Trafford and didn't win, and this game at Ellen Road, they were goalless going to the last 10 minutes, and both Wilfred Ononto and Silencio Summerfield looked sharp and dangerous. And honestly, if David De Gea had made a couple of good saves, this could have been a famous Leeds win, and all without a manager in charge. Honestly, there'll be no man more sick inside that ground than interim coach Chris Armas. This guy is currently caretaker Leeds boss, but make no mistake about it, this is weird. This is someone who spent last season as Manchester United assistant boss under Ralph Rangnick. So if he had managed to beat his former club both home and away in a week, inside the space of just 4 days, oh, make no mistake about it, this guy might be a failed Toronto coach. I mean, so was John Carver, by the way. But he'd have been given the Leeds job until May. He'd be Ellen Road's answer to Gary O'Neill. But no, you didn't beat Man United. So I guess the former manager of the Delphi Panthers women team won't be getting the Leeds United job after all. Instead, it looks like it's going to be Alfred Schroeder, the guy who replaced Erik ten Hag at Ajax and who was sacked after 6 months. This man was Barcelona assistant boss under Ronald Koeman, but really, if I'm a Leeds fan, then just hiring some 50-year-old man who's mostly been a number 2 his entire career. I mean, when he did go it alone, he failed at Twente, Hoffenheim and Ajax. His only success was winning the Belgian league with Club Brugge. But I mean, wake up! They've currently got Scott Parker in that job. Clearly you don't need to be a tactical magician to succeed in Belgium. So yeah, honestly, Leeds fans, hiring Schroeder, just no! Both he and Ten Hag were assistants of Steve McLaren at FC Twente. But Ten Hag has gone on to become a brilliant manager in his own right. But Schroeder is the ugly duckling coach who hasn't really made it yet. This guy should arguably be part of Ten Hag's backroom staff at Old Trafford. But giving him the Leeds United manager's job, this is almost guaranteed to get you relegated. Honestly, don't do it, Leeds. Crystal Palace 1, Brighton 1. VAR. Nothing more needs to be said. Anyway, there's one thing I go, oh, I need to lie down and go to sleep. Lads, I don't know how I got through that, but listen, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a like, share, comment, as always. I'll talk to you in a while.